And speaking of holiday travel, if you're hitting the roads, you can be sure you will encounter an increased presence of highway troopers.
Absolutely. And joining us to talk about some of the things you can expect as you hit the highways is Stefan Lustig with the Ticket Defense Associates. Good morning, Stefan.
Good morning.
What would you say is the first rule of thumb should we be driving and see that
Flashing
butterfly,
light.
the flashing blue lights in back of us?
I would just say relax, be calm. Officer's going to come over to you, he's going to speak to you, have a good attitude. You don't want to be argumentative with the officer. You want to be very polite. Don't say anything, don't admit to anything, because he will write it on the back of the ticket, and it may become a factor in court.
So even if you think you're being pulled over unjustly, which so many people do think when they're pulled over, just don't cop an attitude.
No, just take the ticket. Call an attorney. It's very inexpensive nowadays, and most firms now guarantee no points in your license, your money back. You
Guarantee?
Don't have, yes,
How do you guarantee that?
Yeah, I've heard that on the radio. How do you do that?
Guarantee no points in your license, your money back. We have an arsenal of defenses, and they're very effective. Probably over 10,000 clients that I have so far to date, I would say over 90% have not been convicted. They don't have to go to court. They don't even have to come into the office. They call up, give us the information, send us the ticket, and we go to court for them, handle everything. We alleviate the stress involved with receiving traffic tickets.
You know, it's amazing how people's personalities can change when pulled over by a police officer. As we've seen, even a police officer's personality can change and start fighting with the police officers who pulled him over.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's just an antagonistic situation.
It's true, because you're on your way, you have your liberty, you're driving, and you're trying to get to another point, and you're interrupted by an officer. You feel like your liberty is being infringed upon.
So, in other words, your firm, Ticket Defense Associates, is very proud of the fact that you can get even guilty people off.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's actually Lustig and Associates and Ticket Defense Associates.
Well, so what's your defense for that? I mean, people are, you know...
Depends upon what the infraction is. Every case is unique and individual.
But I mean, how do you sit there and, you know, be proud of the fact that guilty people are back on the road, perhaps endangering other people's lives?
Well, we all make mistakes. Hopefully, they're not going to be so serious that they affect us for the rest of our lives, for instance, with a criminal conviction for a DUI. So, first I want to advocate, please do not drink and drive. It's very dangerous. Obviously, the consequences can be very severe. But if you're ever in that position, you don't want to provide any evidence to the officers, which could convict you for the rest of your life.
Do you take the breathalyzer when you're asked to?
It depends. It depends. If you have nothing to hide, go ahead and take it. If you have been drinking, please, again, I strongly want to state, do not drink and drive. But we all make mistakes, and if you do find yourself in that position, I would refuse all tests and just say, I want to speak to an attorney.
Don't you then lose your license on the spot?
You're going to lose it anyway. You might as well not have a conviction. And that's civil in nature. If you provide them with evidence of criminal offenses, that can be in your record for the rest of your life. And like I said, we all make mistakes. We just hopefully they won't affect us.
All right, quickly, the telephone numbers?
954-463-1500. Also, you can call 1-877, the number 2, Lustig.
Good. There it is on the screen for you there. 954-463-1500. I guess you're going to be busy next week.
Very busy. Very busy.
Stefan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Jay.